Thinking about selling options? Here's what no one warns you about. Yo, what is going on, Premium Chasers? I hope you are having a God-blessed day. Today, every single person that comments down below is going to get a free ebook that I wrote called the High IV Playbook, which is a must-read during markets that we're trading in right now. So all you got to do is drop a comment, and while you're down there, hit that like button and subscribe to us. All we talk about is selling options on this channel, and today is no different because we're going to be talking about some of the most common mistakes that I have seen people make in terms of selling options. And listen, not just what other people are making, me as well, guys. I'm very guilty. I've been selling options for 7 years now, and trust me, I've had my many handfuls of losses and mistakes, and that's why I'm shooting today's video. For those of you that are already actively selling options, maybe you're in research mode, but you want to kind of know what you're getting yourself into. And the first thing we're going to be talking about, and it is probably the most exciting, and it's probably going to be the thing you love to actually do, but you probably haven't not done it yet or even thought about it yet, is setting a goal, okay? Listen, you cannot go in blind into selling options, right? Or anything in life. If you go into anything in life without a plan or a goal, what are you really doing? Without a goal or a plan, right? Number one, you're not going to be able to track your progress. Number one, which in trading and in investing, I don't consider myself a trader by any means, but I want to make sure I track my progress. I want to look at what my ROI on collateral is. I want to see, hey, did I close this out early? If I did, how much premium did I give back? What's my net result from that, right? Like, what am I doing, right? And in terms of like anything in your life, right? You want to, be better at fitness, right? Like track your progress on like running or whatever it is. It's the same exact thing that we want to do with selling options. What is your goal with that? Now, all of us are going to have different goals, right? Somebody that's younger is going to surely do more aggressive, degenerate stuff, when somebody who's older still might do some degenerate stuff, but, right, we're a little bit more safer and a little bit more conservative, hopefully. You know who I'm talking to out here. So what we want to do is, what you want to do is map out a plan for yourself, and it's specific. Really, at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is what your ROI on collateral is going to be, because at the end of the day, that's the point of investing, right? To make more money, right? Like that's the whole point. We hope we make more money, right? Surely not lose money, right? You options buyers, right? Yeah, you guys are those losers, in my opinion. But so what we want to do is map out a clear goal for ourselves based on what we actually have in front of us. So here I am just inside of our cash secured put calculator here, and these are all example numbers, guys, all example numbers. Let's say we're opening up a cash secured put, and we're collecting about $100 in premium here. We're putting up about, let's say, $5,000 of our collateral, right? And let's say we're working with about a $10,000 portfolio to start out. Maybe you just want to get your feet wet, learn the whole process, and you're like, you know what, Pete, I'm putting in 10,000 into this option selling thing just to get my feet wet, maybe for the first 6 months, learn the ropes, learn all the different situations I could be put in, and then maybe I'll put some more in. Proper thought process. Congratulations if you actually think like that, because I've seen people that are like, you know what, I just want to dump 6 figures into this, and you've never even sold a put or done a covered call before. No, that's not a plan, man. That's not a plan. Start slow. I'd rather you start with $1,000, maybe not 1,000, because then you're getting into weird penny stocks and like low cost stocks, which are a lot more volatile. Usually I recommend $5,000 to $10,000 portfolios when selling options, guys. The unfortunate reality, and at least with the strategy that I like, is you need money. Like at the end of the day, like money makes you more money. Like I'm sure you've heard that before. And the unfortunate reality is usually the desperate people are buying options because they're cheaper, when people that have a little bit more money, they're selling options because they have the money to do it. It's just the unfortunate reality. All right. So let's just say, in this example, you have about 10K that you're working with, right? You're able to collect about $200 in this example, if premium, from the options buyers on, let's say, roughly a monthly basis. We'll put our expiration date here. And that's about a 2% return in this educational example. Cannot stress that enough, guys, right? All these calculators are free inside of our Facebook group as well. You could post in your questions. All this is free, guys. That is what this channel is all about, to give you the education you need on selling options. But that link to the Facebook group, if you want to download all this stuff that I share with you guys, is in the description of today's video. So we see that return. We're like, okay, is that good? Is that bad? Who knows, right? You have to, so this is where it comes into what is your idea. For somebody, right? Maybe they want to do, they've got a larger portfolio and they're like, you know what, Pete, I don't want to go 2%. Maybe I just want to even go like 1%. Right? Maybe I want to go, maybe I'm more risky and I want to do some crazy stuff. I want to go 5%. This is where it is so dependent on every single person. And I can't, me personally, I'm not a financial advisor, obviously. So you have to figure out that for yourself. And honestly, only you can. So sit down, right, with whatever your budget's actually going to be and map out yourself a plan, right? Map yourself out a plan, okay? Which leads me to our second point, right? You've got an idea of what kind of realistic goal. Don't just, listen, before we jump into the next one, when I say realistic goal, okay, that doesn't mean go and like, just say you want to make like 10% a month. Like, you know what I mean? Because like, sure, my goal is make 100% a month, but realistic. All right. So set yourself realistic targets, and that target may change once you're doing it and once you see the strategy and what your average like ROI is going to be for yourself. And at that point, you can adjust from there. But before you go into it, be like, okay, you know what? Let's say, look, let's go take an example here, right? We'll go over to SoFi, right? It's one of our favorites. And we're going to take a look at what kind of options. We're going to click sell, put. Obviously, these numbers are at the time of this recording, guys. These results vary when you look at these. So let's say you want to buy it at $13, in 35 days from now, we would collect $57 of premium from the options buyer. You go to your cash secured put calculator, you put 57 here, and you're like, oh, and I'm putting up $1,300. Right? Okay, that gives me a 4.38. Wow, that's pretty risky. That's pretty aggressive. That's a high chance of assignment. Okay, let me take a look here, man. So I'm getting about a 34% delta. Okay, maybe that's not too bad. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I won't. Let's go look at the 12s. Maybe let's look at the 12s. Right? So I'm putting up $1,200 on this one. Right, I'm putting up $1,200 on this $12 put, and I'm collecting 28 on the premium, right? So, okay, that's a 2.33% return. Okay, and this is how you start mapping this out for yourself. My recommendation would be map this out in this sheet for yourself across, which leads me to the second point, just a 3 to 5 stocks max. I can't stress this enough, fam. I can't stress this enough. Some of you are only getting your stock picks from YouTube videos. Listen, I love SoFi, I love Cisco, I love Arista. Listen, but some of those, you probably have no idea what those business models are, but you're jumping in and selling options on stocks you don't know about. Whew. That's a second huge mistake. I don't know how many mistakes we're going to go through here today because there's a lot, right? There's a lot of mistakes you can make in this. That's why I always tell people you got to stick with this for at least a year because there's a lot of situations that you get put in when you're selling options. Right? It might sound like a simple strategy, but it's like anything in life. The more you get better at something, the more exposed to different kinds of things you get, right? So have your stocks that you have conviction in. Okay, so for example, I was talking inside of one of our private group today, and the conversation of UNH came up. Obviously, we had a large drop yesterday due to some, some fraud that could make potential medical fraud that they're involved in. I don't know, right? I don't really care. But we saw this big drop, and we're talking about it. We're like, okay. Let's go look, man. This is a big drop. Let's go see what UNH is doing now, right? We'll go take a look. It's recovered a percent today, but still a big drop yesterday, right? So we'll click sell put, and it's trading at 277 right now. We'll go 35 days out, and whoo, boy, look at these. Look at these premiums. This is called the premium blinders. Oh my goodness. I can collect $2,100, $2,080. Oh my gosh. This is so amazing. This is massively risky in my opinion. Okay. Again, I'm not telling you what to do. Go do what you want to do. Right. But look at this. You're basically, just say 2,100 for simple math, right? You're collecting 2,100 of the premium. If we opened up a cash secured put on this, you're putting up $27,000 in your collateral, which is a large sum of money. That's blow your back out premium right there. So 7.78. Listen, you have to understand the risks of this game, guys. Listen, you're not just getting this premium for free, right? There's a massive risk that comes out. At the end of the day, when you're selling options, you're essentially selling insurance for selling insurance for other people, right? To lock in at 270. Right, you got to understand that you're essentially their liquidity, right? If this thing drops down to 260, 250, whatever, you're having to buy those shares from them at $270 if this thing continues to drop like a rock. But with that said, that's my opinion on UNH. I don't believe in this company. I truly do not like medical insurance companies. I think their business is fantastic business model. They love it, right? Like I'm not going to go on on a tangent here, but I think they're extremely unethical, right? That's me. So why would I invest in something I believe is honestly bottom feeders of the earth, right? That literally just hurt people, literally kill people, right? So that's my opinion on medical insurance companies. That's my opinion, and I think they're just ripoffs in general. That's my opinion, right? But maybe you are like, Pete, you don't know what you're talking about. Listen, I work at these insurance companies, man. We rolling. Do you see my bonus? You see my bonuses? Yo, we killing it, right? We're cash cows, right? There's nothing's going to stop us. And most likely nothing will stop these medical insurance companies, right? And you're absolutely right. But for me, I don't like it. For you, you're like, Pete, you don't know what you're talking about. I would love UNH at 270. Are you kidding me? Listen, I love this company, right? I love it, right? So for you, maybe this would be a play that for you and your risk tolerance and your beliefs and your core watch list, you're like, I would of course do this play. See, this is why I say everything is so different for every single individual. I can't stress it enough, right? My watch list, I focus a lot on like networking products, tech sector stuff, and like a little bit of the banking, especially now with SoFi, because it's a bank I actually fully am in. I don't use any other bank. I'm all in on SoFi, right? So like for me, I believe in that. Like that's my kind of niches. That's the kind of stuff I like to stay up to date with. When you might be like into like medical devices, all this medical stuff, that jargon. I don't know anything about that stuff. All right, I'm not into that stuff, but you might have that, and that might be your edge. Listen, I recommend you guys pick up a book. It's called One Up on Wall Street, A Walk Down Wall Street. I don't know. The link will be in the description to get it on Amazon. It is an affiliate link, but yeah, listen, the boys got to get paid somehow. All right, but it is affiliate. It's my fate. It is the only, look, I got a whole bookshelf here, and I got a whole bookshelf in that corner that you guys probably have seen in other videos. I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that is the best book on investing ever, and this is where all you hear when I'm speaking, a lot of it comes from that book in terms of like building your core watch list, things you understand, things that you have an edge on that other people don't. Okay. So second thing that, mistake is getting into stocks that you actually don't believe in. Cannot stress this enough, guys. Please. Okay. Make sure you are building a watch list around companies you love, because at the end of the day, one of these times, you're going to be stuck holding a stock for a long time. Your cash secure put's going to get assigned, and you're going to be stuck holding this thing for a while. So you have to be comfortable with that. Okay. And for example, with UNH here, you're like, you know what? The risk and reward makes sense for me. All right. But if it drops to 250, 200, you are now holding it at 270. Are you cool with that? Do you believe in it so much that it will hit all-time highs again? If you say no, why would you do it? If you say yes, okay, you have to make that decision for yourself. All right. Third thing that I want to talk about, right, is trading, having your expirations during earnings weeks and week after earnings week. Okay, you want to avoid this. It takes a little bit of an extra layer of thought process for you, right? To like come in here. This is just earningshub.com, free tool. Type in your ticker, right? Before you open up a cash secured put or a covered call. Okay, and this is very important to do. I believe very important to do. Weird things happen during earnings week. Okay, weird things happen in general with cash secured puts and covered calls during expiration. They just do. So my recommendation, right? And take with this what you want. I'm not a financial advisor. Is don't have your cash secured puts or covered calls expiring during earnings week because of the insane volatility. And the following week is something called IV crush, which you don't want to be dealing with as well. Weird things can happen. Weird things have happened to me where in the past, like I had like an expiration, like on the earnings, and then like whatever happened, and I end up having to take assignment, or end up having to sell my shares that I really didn't want to sell. So avoid earnings week as well as the earnings week after. Okay. Last thing that I want to talk to you guys about, maybe last thing, I don't know. You guys already know how this channel goes, right? There's no editing. This is just me opening up a camera. All right. So what is that? And that is focusing on dividend paying stocks. I know you don't want to hear it. I know you don't want to hear it. Listen, focusing on boring dividend stocks, man. Like, honestly, and when I say boring, look, I'm showing you guys some of the more riskier plays, right? Just to kind of drive that premium home, right? But you could see a J&J, right? J&J is a staple, a very stable company, offers a fantastic dividend, and for a majority of this week has been trading under its bottom Bollinger Band, setting up very nicely for cash secured puts. But however, most people, they don't give a crap. They're like, I don't care. I don't want to get into J&J. This company's boring. It's not giving me the premium that gives me that itch scratch. When I challenge you to maybe change your mindset a little bit on some of these boring dividend paying stocks, right? J&J is one of my favorites. Pepsi, is one of my other favorites as well, right? And these are very stable companies, in my opinion, that, you know what? Even if I get stuck holding, I believe in long term, right? So let me show you a little comparison here on J&J. Obviously, not necessarily a great day because we did see a nice rebound. But let's go take a look at the puts premiums that we'd be collecting from the options buyers here. So we're over here, and you could see here, right? Look, the 150s, 145s, 140 that are expiring 35 days out, right? They're not as juiced up, but let's say 145. Let's say 145, you're like, hey, you know what? I would love to own J&J at 145 in 35 days. For that, we're collecting 187 in premium, okay? So let's take a look at that now, right? We put our 187 here, right? We are putting up $14,500 now, right? And yes, it's a less of a premium return of ROI on collateral, but so what? Listen, it's a less likely that, look, I'm going to say this again, you do your own decisions. I'm just saying this, in my opinion, there's less risk investing in J&J over UNH, even SoFi, even a lot of because this is a blue chip company with I don't even know how many hundreds of brands, if not thousands of brands under their umbrella. Right. And also, worst case, I get stuck holding J&J, right, at $145 a share. I can then do cover calls and collect premiums as well. Guys, make sure you drop a comment down below because you're also going to get my high IV playbook, an absolute must read that every single person that comments down below is going to get that. I'll personally respond to you. While you're down there, hit that like button, that subscribe button, and check the first link in the description, guys. If you're somebody that's more interested in a handheld approach and a more one-on-one approach to learning how to set up your very own option selling portfolio, our one-year incubator program might be something that you want to take a look at. I'll leave that link down below in the description of today's video, so make sure you check that out. Guys, remember, sell options, collect premiums, repeat. I'll see y'all tomorrow.